Hi, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be performing a socialization exercise with Polly in the role as the helper dog and with Pearl as a dog in need of help. Okay, so this is exercise. This is all about fading into the picture the right way. And when I talk about the right way, it's about advocating being in control through right relationship. And so in this exercise, I'm going to be performing the, again, sticking to the basic relational changing method, the script as I call it, to help build the bridge through socialization. So this exercise is, again, about me becoming the pivot point. Again, once a dog has gained control in the relationship with his or her owner, it's really important to understand the whole context of relationships by way of how they're with other dogs, other people, the relational context of that, and then beginning to advocate fading in properly. So again, this is all about how to build bridges. So here, I'm building bridges through, again, bringing Pearl under a level of influence within the context of what's reasonable, getting her to come into agreement with the method, and that is the motivator. Because here's the thing, if I use a different way to motivate this or build bridges this way, although I may get acceptance, okay, it's all about understanding the context of that acceptance, okay? So just because you get acceptance or get a dog to come into agreement with, say, another dog, it's understanding the motives of that. Not just my motives for doing that, but the motives of the dog itself as the dog is coming into acceptance, whether or not the dog is still holding control through that acceptance. So again, the example to use, if you try to understand how is it things can look really, really good at the front end, okay, to what you're advocating, but not turn out so well, which means that the picture is totally upside down. It's going to the example of, say, dealing with a relationship problem between a very selfish child, say, and those around them. And so, for example, the child, you may get the child, because of how you're advocating the child coming into acceptance, you may kind of quarterback that. And so a child's very selfish, doesn't want to, say, play well with others, get along well with other children. And so because of, again, what you're advocating, okay, as a parent, maybe going in there and kind of rearranging things. So you're taking all the toys and putting them over, so that when your child enters the scene, so to speak, enters that environment, that they immediately will get their own way. And so, again, you could say, well, the child's accepting really, really well, but again, based on what? Okay, based on truly advocating right relationship, and so really promoting the child to get along well with others, based on how you're influencing that change the right way, or based on the child still holding to a certain really selfish way of thinking. They're only getting along well because they're just getting their own way. Everything's still out of balance, but you're presenting a false picture. Okay, but again, ultimately, here's the thing to understand. The truth will always kind of be out there, okay, by way of, again, as the real picture starts to get exposed. So, for example, things can look really, really good by way of, what you're advocating, so you get in a very narrow window view of the relationship. So, for example, Pearl could accept Polly, but because I'm allowing her to keep control, and this is where you get these concepts such as behavioral adjustment training. If you really pay attention, I've done a video on that, I encourage you to go watch it. You're seeing how they're laying that bridge out, how they're building that bridge, and think about the context of control. You're seeing dogs that are able to hold control, and so all the people are looking at just acceptance alone. But again, what will happen is, how you know that things are not coming together properly is you're always trying to build bridges continuously, because even though you might get acceptance at one level, because the dog is holding control, things are still out of control everywhere else. And it seems like you're always still walking on eggshells, because relational change, or relationship change is not happening. You've not faded in properly, and you're trying to advocate the same way all the time, because you're making it about how you feel. So this is about understanding the truth of everything, relationship-wise, understanding dogs at a deeper level. So here, as I bring Pearl out, okay, what I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to allow her to look at or invest towards Polly, okay, because again, this is about understanding a dog's level of stinking thinking, okay, as you're doing this, okay. So a look just isn't a look yet. I'm going to advocate, I'm going to fade in, so the meeting, the bridge building comes with me faded into the picture. So here what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be circling around with Pearl. I'm going to see me moving with her, and I'm going to be interrupting, okay, those states of mind where she's starting to fixate, starting to invest. So I want her to be focused on me. Doesn't mean she's got to be looking in my eyes. It's just there's a type of inwardness that you're going to see happening. And so I'm going to be stopping her along the way. Same thing. So the circle method that you saw me doing before without Polly out here is basically the same. Okay, so you'll see me moving around, doing the down position, stopping, the push-pull. All the different methodologies the same, except for Polly is now kind of in the middle. Okay, so this is like a distraction, socialization, building type of exercise. So this is just the first part of it. You already saw me, or if you watched my videos, you would have saw me out on hitting the street already with Pearl. Now, starting to increase expectations. So again, understanding the process itself, why it needs to take this path, why it needs to hold together, the integrity of it has to maintain for a certain period of time. It may be, through the board train process, it's 2 weeks, which is kind of a good length of time for it to join up again with the owners. Okay, so what I'm doing is they're piggybacking off of what I'm doing, and so again the process will still continue at a certain level, okay, for a period of time. The consistency of that is really, really important. So again, I'm going to bring her over here in just a second. She's going to have a muzzle on. Okay, just again, certain protocols you want to maintain, keep it safe for everybody. And I'm also going to be using the pressure collar just to give me a little bit more of leverage, so to speak, a little bit more control. Eventually, again, I'll be switching over to the flat collar more and more as she starts to come into more and more agreement, okay, with the method, okay, with the process, and her state of mind begins to really start to lower down. Okay, that's when you can start to switch the tools over a little bit to start to really level things out. But again, the process here is to keep them very level anyway. But again, certain tools, how you use them is really in relation to where you're at. And you need a little bit more control, especially some dogs are holding a lot of, have aggression issues. You want to use a pressure collar as kind of a go-between tool. Okay, it's a good tool to use in between switching them over to a flat collar. So I'm going to bring Pearl out. So again, just kind of explaining this first, somewhat before I bring her out, so you kind of know what my goals are. What's happening. Why I'm doing things the way I'm doing them. Eventually, this is the first step. So Polly is in the crate, so it's control. Okay, so I am totally focused, really good. Really good level of control. I'm using Polly and she's used to doing this, okay, as a helper. For me, makes sense to her, and I'm in control, okay. And then eventually here, again, after I get Pearl really start to really kind of, the stress starts coming off of her. She starts to really come into a follower role. Then you're going to see Polly coming out of the crate, okay, during this process and start to move freely around. And so it's all about, starting point, doing things that are really controlled, really safe, and making sure that the bridge building's happening in a way that is going to be progressive, okay, along the way. So anyway, I'm going to get Pearl, I'm going to bring her out. You're going to see the exercise happening here. And this is the first time that Pearl has met or will meet Polly. So this is a raw video, so to speak. Bringing her out. So again, as soon as I move her out here, tap her, again, tap her. This is first time, okay? She's been out here near or around Polly, okay? So this gives you good insight into the method, okay, right from the very beginning. And again, like I said before, and I'll take my time here, so if I'm gonna, I'll stand here, because even, here's the thing to understand, is even movement, forward motion can become a control issue based on where a dog's at. So when you're doing this, it's always better to just go stationary here first, take your time, then move. This is why it's important not to go too far. Just take one step and re-engage with the method. Okay, that way the integrity is there. You have more influence coming over the dog more consistently. So you don't want to walk too far here first. Just take one step and then go through the same sequence again. Same thing, go one step forward. And here, based on control, this is where you could see Pearl locking up a little bit more here. Because here's the thing, if you're locking up, it's based on being used to being in control and doing things her way. Okay, so she's used to having certain interactions. Polly said, Polly, hey. So she's used to having a certain level of control, and so same thing with your helper dog. You want to make sure your helper dog isn't too ramped up. Okay, you want a dog that is in a follower state. Same thing. I'm moving Pearl forward. I move her forward. So I'm keeping her at a bit of an angle here. See this? So an offset angle, so I can get a better picture of her state of mind. Because then she's got to turn her head more. Okay, which gives me a better picture as to her state of mind. Because if she's straight on, this is why dogs can build up, and sometimes they'll do what I call flash over, which means that they got too much access visually, and they already have a high level of control. And because you're approaching them straight on, whatever is going on, the other dog, they'll ramp up to such a level that they'll go into an aggressive state, and you won't even sense it's coming. Okay, by going at an offset angle like this, she's got to turn her head now. Okay, to try to invest, to try to gain fulfillment, and I have a better idea. So I can say, man, she's really trying. She's not here, but if the dog's really trying to turn their head a lot, then I know, hey, there's a major problem. And perhaps if that's happening anyway, you need to go back and work on some more just basic method first without introducing another dog. Okay, so here the goal is a sequence. First few days, me fading in at a really good level without branching off, but now, as you can see, is getting to that point where I know that the exercise, I already know before going into it, the exercise is going to go pretty good, okay, because of what I've established. Same thing, already work the method, bring it right near. Yeah. I bring her into a down position. Sit. Coming up into a sit. Always, too, when you do this, always when you bring the dog up into a sit, be aware, don't let them kind of slide and look over. I want her to look straight forward or be focused on me somewhat. And here's the thing too, is you can always tell where they're at, because if you pay attention based on what's going on, you'll see a certain level of stress on the dog. It's almost like a child with candy beside them, they can't help but try to reach out and grab it. So by looking at her through her level of tension onto her, you'll be able to pick up information as to how far into the exercise you are with whether or not they start to come into agreement and stress is starting to come off of them. So just take your time. This is about just taking your time, be really intentional. Same thing, I'm not letting her lean into me, tap at her. Down. I'll say down. I am using words as I'm pushing, okay? Sit. Again, not letting her hang there too long. She's going kind of sideways. She'll come prone more and more as it goes along here. Move her forward. Do a little push-pull here. Tap. And that's what you look for. She's, Pearl looks she's starting to become very relaxed, okay? I'm very, very happy, okay, with her reactions here, okay? Honestly, really, really good. I mean, considering where we started from, excellent, just the same thing. But it's all about just the same thing, even with her. You can see she's not really locking down much at all here, her state of mind. She's coming into agreement with me, communicating with her to move forward. Now I'm just using my knee a little bit. You see me sometimes using my knee a little bit to help nudge her body over. I want her straight up. I'm not trying to, whenever you do this, it's like a nudge, okay? You don't want to, I can't talk about what's reasonable. So the context of influence with how, you're making contact at certain points, you want the dog to accept it. So everything, I call these like set points. Everything needs to kind of flow together that makes sense to the dog for the dog to accept. Okay, so, because again, you don't want to get too jerky, especially again, understanding all these exercises, the dog has a lot of control, and you get really jerky with your technique and stuff, it can really, it can trigger aggression very easily, okay? This is why I talk about being proactive in the sense of being at a deeper level here, because here's the other issue. If you wait, and you're applying what's called corrections, and you wait for the dogs, because you're not really sensing the dog's state of mind goes up too high, and you may not even realize it's happening, and then you do a correction at a moment where you're interpreting the dog's state of mind at a certain kind of a bad behavior level. You can really trigger aggression very easily also. So here, this is about being in tune to the couple of investment level, being in tune to control how it manifests and how the dog's state of mind will begin to, how the dog will invest at that level, to begin to slip away. Okay, so this isn't about waiting, this is about being proactive in moving the relationship forward. So this is a proactive system, which is very effective, okay? Because it's understanding you already have a relationship problem, and you need to do certain things to invest certain ways to change it, and this is where the integrity of the method is very important. Same thing, moving her forward. The other issue too, she's not as flinchy, okay? So when I do a push-pull onto her, okay, she's accepting, she's not flinching now. Before she'd flinch and, and shake and all those things, because the stress loads are coming off of her. Again, helpful to do downs, near, down. By doing it down, I'm just saying to her, I say, hey, it's okay. I'm in control. You might get to meet Polly, okay, but as a follower to me. That's the type of language that you're speaking. So this isn't about saying, you're not bringing influence onto a dog at such a high level that they're taking it like it's an absolute no. Okay, this is a conditional state. Okay, well, this is about right relationship. So this is about me fading in the relationship in a way that makes sense to Pearl, okay, takes the stress off of her,